Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's live Q&A session where we're going to be talking about some SEO tips and tricks, some of the cool stuff we've learned or learned from over the years. They've not always been hugely successful, or some of them have been patched and so on and so forth. So we're going to talk a lot about SEO tips and tricks because I think both me and Palmer like having some fun and some tips and tricks to play with. We need something to blow up and some havoc to wreak, shall we call it. But before we go into anything like that, do check out the news guy. His logo is above and the link is below. Please do check out Randy, the news guy, top guy, and obviously the channel sponsor as well. So we need to give him a little bit of love. So please do check him out there. And we are going to be answering any questions that you have. So please put your questions in the chat. Let us know where you're from as well, where you're listening in from, just so that we know there is people actually listening there as well. That's hugely important. And yeah, that is.
I like that you let in though. He's a great guy, and then you're like, oh, by the way, he's a sponsor.
Yeah,
you didn't say he's a sponsor and he's a great guy. You led with the great guy. I like that.
He is.
He is a good guy. Absolutely.
This is the difference. Is I could have sponsor. It had so many different sponsors. What I have comfort with is that I believe that he offers a good service, and I've used them prior to any arrangements that we've got, and stuff like that. So I don't worry that he doesn't have the system or the support team and it's going to come back and haunt me, if that makes sense. If I promote something, I don't want people coming back going, Craig, this motherfucker, he's not doing what he said he was going to do or anything like that. So that's also hugely important. So
it's true.
So there we go. We have Madge and Nerdy here as well. Good to see you guys. If you've got any questions, feel free to chuck them in, or anything, any tips and tricks you want to share, please chuck them in. Nerdy saying the tan is looking good. Believe it or not, Nerdy, the tan is actually better if I take that away. It's the fucking the sunlight poking in through the windows there that's making me look a little bit whiter than I actually am. But yeah, I worked hard on that tan, dude, in this past week. Real hard.
Working hard.
Dude, you've no idea, mate. I worked that fucking tan like a motherfucker.
You were working outside?
I wouldn't say working.
I
was
working on the tan.
Yeah, I was working on that shit. Doing any actual work, that's debatable.
Some say it's work.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a lot of time at the pools, at the pool and stuff like that. But belter for you. I'm a mobile developer. That's my main money site. Found a belter of an expired Android OS domain with links from tons of high authority sources, the Daily Mail, etc. What do you do, Chris? 301 redirect or rebuild? What are you getting the best value of?
I think it's got a ton of good links. I mean, that's great. I mean, how long have they been down? Let's just say that all the ducks are in a row. I think it would be in your best interest to build it up. Let's build it out, and then we can start thinking about where to point those links, if that's what you want to do. I thought when I started reading that question, I thought you were leading to something else. Like, just because it has a bunch of hot links, were they built in 2011? How old are they? When was the last time those pages were crawled or cached or indexed or re-indexed?
Yeah.
Where do they show up at? On top of that, like, is that even your category? If you're a plumber, do I really need, computer science links? I don't know. So, but that wasn't the question.
Nah, I think, but to answer it,
I'd build it.
I would do exactly what you said, Chris. Build that shit out. Give yourself a fucking nice homepage link from that sexy ass website. But if you're not going to do that for whatever reason, Jai, don't just do a 301 redirect. The biggest thing that I see people failing with all the time is they just fucking go get the domain and then do a redirect. You've got to build it out first anyway, so that you can get that shit re-indexed again. You can even give it some more power and all of that kind of stuff as well, and then redirect to the appropriate place. But why do that if you've got a domain that's an absolute monster that has all of these referring domains and everything else? You can make that an asset. And for me, you get your homepage links, so you're getting all of that kind of power, and you're getting that. And I would also argue that by doing a redirect, do you get all of that power that you should, or is that power discounted in some way? Obviously, no one knows the true answer to that, but I believe that it would be discounted in some way. It's just my honest opinion. So I would always build the asset out if I could.
Yeah, and even the amount of time it takes sometimes for them to show up. Yeah, I think there's a discount. Why not just build it as a 302? That way you could use it again.
Yeah.
But as a secondary note there, when you're buying those websites, you're downloading the backlink profile first. And then once you download the backlink profile, you submit it to your indexer or a blog spot you have connected to GSC or the indexing API. You'll run through those links, and then you'll fire up one of your favorite tools, GSA, even maybe Money Robot. I don't know. Start firing in some low cost links to whatever exists still, like on your report.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you go through that or no?
Yeah.
Like the hot ones are always going to show up, but you'd be surprised, man. You're dropping DR30s, DR40s, and you're like, dang.
Oh, dude, that's like I don't know if it's maybe from the background that I come from. I come from a poor background, but this is the same equivalent, Chris, of a guy dropping a whole bunch of money, and I'm only collecting the fucking $1,000 bills, and someone's leaving all the $10, the $20, the $50. I won them all. I ain't fucking leaving that shit on the floor, man. You fucking man. I'm having fucking everything. Maybe that's the wrong mentality to have, but you're just going, fuck. I've never seen fucking $5 lying on the floor. I've never fucking even found a pound coin, let alone fucking £5
and
note.
not left it there.
Dude. And I've got friends who are wealthy and stuff, and they say, I wouldn't bend down to pick up $100 bill.
Wow.
Dude, the way I was brought up, if I see a $300 bill on the floor, man, I'm having that all day. And I will get excited going, I have bought this with some other motherfucker's money.
But also there's that lesson too. Like I'd also, believe it or not, is there anybody nearby? Because I want to hand that off to whoever. I don't want that karma. Is this yours? Is this yours? No? You sure? All right, no, that's mine.
So that's how I see it, Jai. But to make sure that you're getting all of that stuff. So there's cool indexing tools out there, like you say, Chris.
Throw that.
And you can go and make sure that you're getting value for them all. It doesn't take me any extra time to fucking include those other URLs anyway. Why would I leave them? Yeah.
Download that back.
It makes no sense.
From SEMrush, put it into a spreadsheet, Google Sheet, make the sheet a public HTML, and blast that sheet with whatever tool you got, and then go count up your links, see what the drop off was. The high equity stuff will still be there, and then I usually dump 40 to 60% will fall. Backlinks I'm talking, not referrings. As long as that referring domain count doesn't dump off, and as long as those top pages that were there previously pop right back in, you probably have a good site. A good site to build on. It's always a good site to redirect to, a competitor or a best friend.
Yeah. But Mila, dot.
You didn't catch that, huh? If the pages don't index, you just redirect it to a competitor or a best friend. No.
Yeah. Oh no, dude. If you get one of those old fucking toxic ass fucking domain names, yeah, I always donate that to someone else as well. Someone that something that someone's abused before.
And that's a
Absolutely.
weird.
I'm white hat these days. I don't really talk like that
I
anymore,
know.
Chris.
I'm
I'm a
with you.
nice guy.
I feel the same way. There's too much client stuff. Like I spend way more time on other people's stuff where I can't risk it, but I still dabble. I'm a dabbler. Yeah.
Fun. Fun. I'm good, honey. Hope you are as well. If you've got any questions, honey, please do put them in the chat, and we will answer them as they come in. Jai also goes on to say that the website's been dead for like 3+ years, so it needs to re-index it. I still think that it's perfectly achievable, Jai, to go and revive that shit. But yeah, it's just a case of go work that shit, re-index it, build a bit more power to it, just reignite it and give it some extra, some nice tiered link building, whatever, just to nudge it along a little bit. Chris, so I've got a question for you relating to basically what Jai has asked here. You've got a website. Let's say Jai's got this fucking domain name and stuff like that, and you rebuild that shit out. I always get asked this: when do you do the redirect? Are you going to fucking go and blast that shit for 6 months and do this, do that, and give it some extra before you would consider doing anything with it? Redirects and stuff like that. Because a lot of people are like always in a rush, and I'm like, nah, man, this shit's just working away in the background. And
well, yeah, it's like playing poker. Like you don't, at the end, everyone's going all in, but you sat there for 6 hours, making minimal bets. In any case, take your time. Just like your website. Like how long did it take for you to reach any type of success? Or you build a link like before you even see any benefit? Nah, usually 60 days or longer. And plus, too, you're working on other stuff. Oftentimes, I'll forget about it. I'm like, oh yeah, we have to do that cycle. Like we have 50 sites we're watching. So usually, the 3 to 4 month mark. Yep. Yeah. Whoever's going to follow has fell. Any tier that we built out, it hit. If I'm not seeing any equity or if I see a big drop of referrings, it's out of here. Oftentimes too, once it's plugged in, after 90 days, if you're going to catch any actions inside of GSC, it'll show up usually within that time frame.
Yeah.
Rare, but that's the time frame it'll pop. Very rare though. You got to have those exact pages. Yeah. You have to build it out with the exact content, exactly how it was, in order to actually get that penalty to show up in GSC. At least for me. Because you'll know there's a penalty. But unless you build the exact pages,
you can smell that shit. You can just, you don't even, something's off here. Talking about smelling shit, Skylar is here. Skylar Samuels. He's saying I've got a bit of a camera lag going on. Skylar, I reckon it's your dodgy fucking Arizona fucking Wi-Fi out there, man. It's nothing to do with me, mate. But Skylar, part of the Samuels' SEO spring training event. It was good to catch up with the Samuels' and all of the other people that I hadn't seen in a few years out there, man. It was a good event, Skylar. Don't tell anyone I said that, but I enjoyed myself a lot. So even though I wasn't drinking, there was some fun times there, Chris. Still didn't get to that fucking baseball game. Skylar, I've got a question. How come every fucking time I get invited, there's no fucking baseball game? How come that shit happens, man? What the fuck?
I saw a game.
You saw a game. Dude, I went the year before and there was no fucking baseball game. And then the year before that, there was a fucking baseball game. What the fuck is going on, man?
WTF? I don't know. I enjoyed it. Oh, and all the food. Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, that wasn't bad.
I think it might be a me thing. I just don't think the Samuelses appreciate me. So,
or maybe they don't want to waste your time.
Oh, dude, I'd love to see a baseball game. I mean, I'm not a baseball fan, but I'd love to take in a baseball game. But
I've never been to an NBA game before. Have you?
Nah, neither have I, man. I'd love to go
Yep.
to an NBA game.
Well, Chris and I were chatting about that. Like, you know what, man? I think we got to go see a game.
He's saying there was no game for the VIP day, man. We'll aim for it next year. So I kind of guessed that as well. You know, it comes down to timing of games and the days the event's on and all that shit. So I'm only half joking, but if I get an invite next year, because I don't know if I will, I don't know if Elizabeth thinks that we're a rowdy bunch. But yeah, hopefully we get an invite back again. But back to the questions. Honey is saying or asking, is Google penalizing AI content in its most recent update, Chris?
I think copy paste AI. I've never gotten any penalization. I never had anything show up inside of Google Search Console. Maybe algorithmically, I've noticed. But copy paste or just auto generated without any touch or any expertise or without doing anything, I wouldn't say it's a penalty, but I would definitely say it's an algorithmic penalty. Like it's a lot harder to win with, flood the gates content. Now, needless to say, though, if you crank out a bunch of pages, you might get lucky.
I reckon what happens here, Chris, and I think I've said it a bunch of times before, you can get several months out of that shit. I've had several months out of that shit, and then it gets fucking slapped on the next core update. It gets fucking beasted. So, and there's no fucking recovery from it. Once that algorithmic penalty thinks that your website's a piece of shit, it's very hard to shake that shit off. And in my opinion, through my own testing, I've done a presentation on it, man. I'd love for that shit to stick for the long term, but it doesn't, man, unfortunately. So that's my experience of it. You've got to do what Chris has basically said, tweak around with shit, human edits, fucking humanize that content, make sure that, it doesn't have those standard AI patterns in it, essentially. I mean, I can see the double dash, dude. Like, I had a guy, Chris, I'll tell this story. Had a guy come to me for a consultation.
Yep.
He's got a problem with his rankings and all that. I look at his website and I'm like, I can just tell straight away it's AI content. I said to the guy, it's AI content, mate. No, it's not. No, it's not. I paid so-and-so to fucking write it and all that. It's definitely not fucking AI. I says, talk me through your fucking process, mate. I give it to so-and-so over here. They write it and I come back and I add my little bit on. And because my grammar's so shit, I run it through AI because ChatGPT is really good at making the grammar and what I've said make look really good. And I'm like,
I thought, what?
Dude,
you just admitted 3 times.
You just fucking swore. Yeah. What the fuck? But I wrote this shit and you're like, but you're asking how to
3 times. Fixing grammar and punctuation. What do you think humans do? They're not perfect. That's right.
That still means you're using ChatGPT, you motherfucker. You have to. It doesn't matter what you claim. Come on, man. How come people think that that's not fucking AI? You're like,
I ran it through
just use Grammarly or some fucking shit.
I summarized it. I auto-corrected it. I had to write a piece down bottom. It still says conclusion.
Honest to God, man. The guy, and then the guy says to me after that, Chris, he says, Craig, how did you know? I never even scanned it. I'm like,
I just rolled out of bed yesterday. That was a good guess.
The double dash. Dude, I've just seen it that much. I am a fucking AI detector now. I could be an AI detector, man.
You're like, sir, you know that I look at websites for a living, right? You're like one-eyed it too. Like you woke up, you're like, oh, that's AI.
Yeah. Dude, hand on fucking heart. I did not even run that through anything.
Oftentimes you don't need to.
So
yep. Now, and that's not to say that AI can't win, though. I know for a fact with proper optimization and age, you can still win with AI. You think GQ magazine couldn't rank pages that is purely AI? I bet you they can.
Of course.
And did you ever take Google, Google's blog? take 2 chunks of their content and put it through an AI detector, and you tell me
Yeah.
96%. So it could be the detector too. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure my eyeballs are my detector, man. I can smell it. But anyway, what do you have to say about this type of G site that Kamal has put
Well,
in
let's take
here?
a little peek here. What do I have to say? Well, sir, they're. Oh boy. Here, let me go in this browser. Give me one little second. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Brrr. What do I have to say? What you know about acne scars and a bunch of map directions? Looks like it was cranked out with. Hold it. Wait a second. The new iteration. Our friend Slorence just showed me something that looked identical to this. What is the name of it?
Zista?
No, not Zista. Oh my gosh, I never can remember the name of it. It's not SEO autopilot. It's
SEO Neo.
bingo. That's what this is. SEO Neo. It's got those same not junk. I mean, obviously the tool does a good job. You ever tried creating a tool and running a tool and updating tools? Very, very hard. With that being said, yeah, this is a telltale sign. That's what it looks like to me, sir. It's auto-generated. I mean, does that take away? I don't know. If you and
The
anyone else
question
that's
is,
willing to purchase said software all looks alike, how long before, if it was effective, it's no longer?
yeah.
So, I don't know. What do I know?
Old Randy boy is here as well. Good to see you, Randy. Just another shout out. Check his logo above, link below. But nice to see Randy
Good to see you.
as well. Back to work as normal, Randy. Last week was just a long memory now, a distant memory. I'm still trying to go over the jet lag, but hey. But
Oh,
Kamal,
what are you driving around in
what do
here? What
you?
is this? Is that a Corvette? What? A blue? What's
Oh yeah,
this?
yeah.
What? How was that? Yeah, was that
That,
nice?
I liked it. Yeah. So when I went there, um, I normally always go onto the Turo app, and I always get a car that typically you can't get in the UK. So I was going to go for a Cybertruck.
They're cool. They're fast.
But dude, it was like 30 odd degrees, and I'm like, I don't want to be fucking tied up in some Cybertruck. So I cancelled the Cybertruck and I got the Corvette.
Drop. Yeah, blue. Good choice.
It was nice, man.
You
It
mean
was nice.
you don't regret it? Didn't look like you
Absolutely
did.
no fucking chance. No, dude, that was away up in the mountains and all that fucking shit, man. Paradise Valley and all that stuff up the back end of Phoenix. Dude, do you know what Paradise Valley is?
Paradise Valley in Arizona?
Yeah. It's where all the rich motherfuckers stay, man. Like up in the mountains. Dude, so a 6-bedroom house in Paradise Valley, how much do you think?
Without looking, half a ticket. Oh, to rent or to buy?
Buy.
Oh, I would start the bidding at 600.
50 million.
50 million?
Wow. Yeah. 50 million, dude, for a fucking 7-bedroomer in Paradise Valley. That's where like Muhammad Ali and all that fucking stayed, man. Like it's a proper fucking nice place, man.
That's a lot of guap.
Oh, dude.
I don't think I could spend that in a lifetime.
Yeah. No.
Oh, they got some houses up there for 3 or 4 M's. Like as if that's even.
Dude, you go, dude. 3 or 4 M's, you'll be lucky to get a fucking 1-bedroom for that.
New construction, 13.5 million. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's beautiful. 8,200 square feet. Oh my god, I'm drooling. Okay, enough about that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I love looking at homes and you know.
Dude, it was good just chilling in my car, looking like I fucking could afford all that shit. All the locals were
Like,
looking at me like, yeah, boy. Not realising I hadn't a fucking pot to piss in compared to all of those guys. I had to drive out of town just for to get a cheap fucking bottle of water, man. Nah, but that
when
place
you looked
is
around out
phenomenal.
there, though, what do you think the demographic was? Older than 50 or younger than 50?
I would probably say older than 50, but it's all business owners or celebrities. Like that's where all the fucking celebrities and shit stay, man. They ain't fucking around out there, man. There's no young shit out there. Dude, there was no shops either. Like when I was going around the houses in Paradise Valley, there wasn't like a supermarket or any shit like that. Like, so you are very much
You're there.
out the way.
They probably have all
man.
the delivery though, Amazon and the food delivery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, if you're living in a $13 million house, I would assume you probably have someone to prepare meals. I would hope.
Oh,
I mean, I would. That would be like the first thing.
Yeah.
Laundry, clean up, and prepare the meals, please. Thank you.
And Skylar confirms the Corvette sounded so good. I tell you a fun story. Skylar the other day was walking past. I say, Skylar, come here. And he comes up and I'm like, can you do me a favour? He's like, sure, Craig, anything. What do you want? I say, give me a fucking foot massage. And he looked at me like, you prick. Anyway, I was flying home last night and I get this DM from Skylar and it's two fingers and my Corvette's in the background. He says, have that for a fucking foot massage. But yeah, it was funny. You guys in America are so easy to fucking wind up, man. They're so serious. They come over like, what can I do, Craig? And you're like, give me a foot massage, and you just see the look in their face like, get to fuck.
Was he thinking?
And I'll tell you another fun
like,
story.
You think you would have went for it? Maybe.
But I tell you another one that was really funny. There was a couple of fun stories, but Gregory Ortiz was there, right? And I hadn't really met Gregory before.
He's a fun guy.
And he's a nice guy, by the way. But there was like 4 or 5 Americans. And I walked up and I says, hey, do you guys all know this Gregory Ortiz guy? And they're like, yeah. And I says, I was up at 2 a.m. I says, I went outside for some fresh air. I says, and I fucking seen Gregory walking past with a dress on. And someone says to me, what, like a night dress? And I went, nah. I says, he had a fucking dress on with high heels on, smoking weed. And dude, I said it with a straight face. And then I walked away and I could hear them going, no. Surely fucking not. Mother, what the fuck?
And then you look at Greg and you're like, really?
They bought it, they ate it up like ice cream. They don't get the UK humour, man. And dude, it's so easy, man. So fucking, but it got round. So someone says, hey, Gregory, someone's fucking saying some shit that you were cross-dressing. He's like, what motherfucker? No, he said, he laughed at the start. And then he phoned up the guy who said it. And he's like, dude, were you fucking joking when someone was saying I was cross-dressing? They're like, no. And he's like, he got really pissed. He's like, what motherfucker spreading that shit? What motherfucker spreading that shit about me? And then he found out it was me. And he just laughed. But yeah, the Americans take everything so serious, which is quite funny.
Speaking of him, what's he up to? What was he pitching? Did you listen to his talk or not?
No, but
I remember when I used to go hand to hand with him in New York.
Oh God, Randy was in my mastermind just telling us because he had a good presentation. That God, I can't remember what he was talking about again, but maybe Randy or Skylar could tell us in the chat there. But yeah, it was apparently it was a good talk. Yeah. But I've got ADHD, dude, so I don't
partake.
I don't have patience to watch, man. But Jai is saying he built 12 times 2.0s linked to the expired domain earlier this week. Then GSA blasted the web 2.0s. Hopefully indexes soon. My main keyword is 5K volume. 160. Oh, 5K volume for March, 165K volume in April. Really trying to ride that wave.
Why?
So
Why the Web 2s though? What's the deal with this? Linked to the expired domain with the Web 2s, and then you're okay. So you just built 12 links to it. I see. I see. Not to index it. I know, but man, of all
no,
the things, fair enough. As you wish.
and Skylar says that was it. His topic was hacking GPTs and N8N automations. So yeah, he was basically saying any of the custom GPTs that are out there, he can basically get all. He knows how to hack all that shit, man, and get what he needs from it. So yeah, but clever guy, you know, and obviously N8N we all know about, and you know, people are doing some cool, crazy shit with that. So I think his presentation, Dan Kurt's done a presentation that again heard very good things. I never heard any bad things about any presentation, but for the people that I know, they're all into this N8N and automation right now. So that's the one that is going to get
It's the wave.
the people talking. So yeah, that was what it was that Gregory was talking about. So I don't know, is the Samuelses selling the recordings? I don't know if they do sell the recordings or if they don't, or what happens. I know it was being recorded, but I don't know if people can buy them or not. But I'm sure at some point they will
Let us know.
let us know. Yeah. And MD is here, Supreme SEO. He's taken the tip and used his real name, well, legit name, for being on here. So yeah, but guys, keep your questions coming. We've still got half an hour left. Keep the questions coming. I don't want to be talking about cross-dresser stories, and there's various other stories. Dude, we had Merlino as well. You've met Merlino in real
numerous
life, right?
times. Oh yeah, he's always good for a presentation.
So he's a crazy guy, but he doesn't get UK humor.
I can see that.
So he's sitting there and he's like talking away about fucking GMBs and all that stuff, and he was getting all animated the way he does, you know, all excitable and all that stuff. And then I says to him, dude, I know someone to fucking beat your ass at fucking GMBs and all that fucking stuff. And he stood up and he's like, hey, you fucking arrange a test, this motherfucker, I'll fucking kill him and all this stuff. And I said Slorry's name. I says, my man Slorry, fucking, he's forgot more about fucking GMBs than you would ever know, Merlino. And he was, his blood pressure must have been like fucking quadruple within the space of 5 seconds. You tell that motherfucker Slorry, I'm gonna fucking beat his ass and fuck. Oh man.
Wow.
And then everyone just laughed in his face.
Goodness.
And he looked and he went, oh shit, I've just bitten, haven't I? And I'm like, yep. He's like, you bastards. But Merlino, man, is easy just to bait. It's like fishing, man. You're just like, and that motherfucker's on that hook, biting like a fucking bitch, man. And he wasn't letting go.
Round them up.
It was easy, man. And it took him probably 4 or 5 days, dude, because he kept biting every other day. And then on the last day, people were saying shit to him and he was just sitting there laughing. He wasn't biting at all. I'm like, 1 week with us and he now gets it. But yeah, Merlino's a biter. That's all I'm going to say. A proper biter. Dude, you could just chuck him something and you know you could stress him out, dude. You could fucking ruin his whole day and you're only joking. You could literally say, Merlino, Palmer says you're fucking dog shit at this or that, and yeah, it would be.
He would probably laugh about that one, but I could see that. I could see him getting riled up. He's a good guy. I remember his first video. He was fun. He's funny.
Yeah. Oh, he's lovely guy. But Kamal is saying, what do you have to say about LLM SEO, Chris?
it this could be a very helpful tool while I'm doing SEO. I don't know about it being what would you call this? A foundation or a fundamental. I think it's more of a helpful asset, right? I know it definitely helps me no matter what I'm doing. I mean, I was creating a table yesterday for internal linking. I went right over to Gemini. Hey, make this for me. I find myself a lot, like the stuff that I used to do, it would take me like 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there. I'm always leaning on large language models.
Yeah. Feed into them. Work that shit. But John is saying, Slaughty from OGFF, been out this game for like a decade. AI has brought me back in, building SaaS platforms like a mofo with Cursor. What is the best way to power a new platform for fast traction? So I don't know if Slaughty is from OGFF. Slaughty's from Glasgow. I don't know what OGFF is, but maybe it is the same guy. But he's a local guy in Glasgow. But he's not really publicly known as such. Chris knows him and I know him, but he's not like
He's
well known.
and he's
I
like
wouldn't think.
he's like a sneaky clever. Like you'll talk to him and he'll be like, and then he'll say stuff and I'll be like, "You dirty dog, you're so good." He's given me
Oh, no.
numerous tips.
Slaughty is, we say he's unknown, but he's up there, man.
With the local stuff, he knows what's up for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think making the perception that, he's local and unknown doesn't mean shit, man. He's a very, very clever guy, man. So,
and he loves WrestleMania.
Yeah. He loves that shit.
Powering up the platform, though.
Follow. Yes, John. That is Slaughty. That is Slaughty. Follow. Absolutely. That is the same
What's
fucking
follow?
Slaughty. It's a Rangers fans forum. So, yeah. And he's a big wrestling fan. Slaughty's all over the rest. He's actually got fucking belts and shit in his house, like wrestlers' belts. I don't know if he's still got them, but he sold them because he recently moved.
Oh, he wouldn't have
and he
sold
sold a lot of
dude.
his
He
shit.
had like the room. No way.
Oh, dude, he sold a lot of that room.
Really?
I'm not joking. He needed to put it in his new house because he had this fucking attic conversion that had all of his shit in it, all the old school fucking Super Nintendo games and shit. The games weren't even out the wrappers.
Oh my
fuck
God.
all. He had wrestling belts.
Is he still selling?
Sold all of that shit. I don't know. You would need to ask him. I don't know if it's already all sold.
Oh, don't hurt me. Don't hurt my heart. New sealed NES 64 games. New sealed Super Nintendo.
Oh, dude, he was getting like $900 a game and shit like that.
He had some really good stuff too. I remember making him take me on a little tour. He had shown me all the gems. He had some cool stuff.
And John, I'm just going to take a screenshot and WhatsApp it to Slaughty to tell him you were asking for him. But Skylar's asking about. I had quite a lot of people actually ask me about this, Chris, when I was there. They're like, "Are you going to do it again? Are you going to do it?"
We're definitely going to. I mean, we're definitely going to do it again. I just need to. I'm being tight with the funding, so I'm not 100% sure on the exact date, but it will be before the middle of September, without a doubt. Definitely. It's going to definitely be in Las Vegas. It's definitely going to be in Caesar's Palace. It's definitely going to be in the main convention center. We're definitely going to have prime rib. We're definitely not having booze. And I'll definitely be there. Now, the only thing she gave me a couple dates, but I just, I'm not, why should I pay a premium for certain time frames? I learned some lessons last time too. Like I'm not in a rush. I'll sit and wait until I get the exact dates, but I'll definitely let everyone know at least 60 days out. And then speakers and anyone else, as soon as I know, they'll be the first to know. Like Craig, you'll You'll be one of the first people. Probably little Chris, and then you.
Oh,
Like when I
come
lock
on,
it
man.
in, he's always like, "Dad,
Little Chris is going to
yes."
get. Little Chris is going to get to find out before me.
I mean,
Come on, dude.
when I'm taking those calls or I'm checking those mails, he's like sitting on this, he's chilling with me. So
Yeah, it's nah, I'm only fucking with you. But we forgot to answer John's question. The best way to get good solid traction for new SaaS platforms, he's bootstrapping and hoping for the best. How would you do it, Chris, if you were in John's
well,
high
no
heels?
matter what, I mean, it's, in my opinion, depending upon the SaaS, is there a market fit? Are you sure people want it? I don't know what the product is, but do people want it? Is there a market fit? Are you a believer? And you could see a lot of uses, but is it true? Have you given away to anyone else? Have you gotten any feedback? Just make sure there's market fit and there's actually a market. The next thing is what is it your name? Is the tool ever been out there before? Can I relate it to anything else? These things can help you in multiple stages, like the blueprint for content, the blueprint for marketing strategy. Hey, maybe they might even want to work with us. Who knows? So with that being said, back to the very beginning, there has to be dollars. The cheapest way I've found to help scale things up is through informational content and paid ads. What you'll notice is you can still catch a conversion off of a informational piece, not as high, but I could get a lot of eyeballs for a lot cheaper. So instead of paying, let's just say it's a SEO audit tool, I'm going to pay $8 a click, as opposed to, what time of year is the best time to buy an SEO audit tool? You might be able to catch those for 60 cents a click. So with that being said, I would scale out informational content, and I would push paid through and to that. And you might want to try multiple modes. Like you might want to go look at Reddit. You probably want to go look at X. You'll probably want to look at Facebook. You may or may not want to compete on Google, but YouTube could potentially be an opportunity. Short videos, depending on the demographic. If you're touching that, 25 to 35 market, short form could be a good avenue. So good luck to you, my friend.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I recently, I wouldn't say he's a good friend, but he's a friend. He just tried, it's not Taboola. There's been like these ads and he was getting harassed about these ads. Hey, see your brand on TV. It's like the weirdest dude, right? He was like torturing everybody. Well, he tried it. And as far as he's concerned, he thinks it's far better than organic. Like far better than the organic ads, far better than ranking content. You can track everything. He's seen almost an immediate ROI. And the amount of impressions, at least that they showcase, I mean, it's hard. I don't know how they would do that, but the amount of eyeballs that you get, it's certainly worth it for sure. So,
Especially if you've got something like a SaaS platform. I have spoken at a lot of events, and Affiliate World's conferences being one of them. And most of those guys don't care about SEO. They are all about buying traffic, whether it be from Taboola, whether it be from all of these other places. They just don't even. I'm not dismissing SEO by any stretch of the imagination. Absolutely not. But there are guys out there that's all they fucking do, and they as long as you're getting that ROI on it, who gives a fuck? So if you spend $1,000 on these ads and you make 5, do you even fucking care at that point? So just keep doing it, and
that's an interesting thing. And I think a lot of people with ads too will have that mindset though. Like put in a G and bring back 5. Yeah, maybe in a long enough time span. But if I can just run ads for free and my yearly comeback is 2 times ad spend, great. That was a hard lesson to learn right there. It's not about money right now. Because it's about over the next year, if you spend 50, what will come back? That's what it's all about, in my opinion.
Yeah. Honey is asking, is it okay to use rich snippets in local websites meta tag to boost CTR?
Rich snippets is an enhancement from Google. Rich snippets can be given. I can be given that enhancement through multiple modes. One of them could be through schema markup. So with that being said, do I think it's a good idea to utilize schema markup and or chase snippets? The chase, no. Using the schema, yes. I'm not going to chase to give Google free traffic, right? It's they test and then they come out with a new product and then they siphon more traffic away from us and make it a little bit harder, a little bit harder, a little bit harder. If we could just, if it's not that progression is going to stop, but if we could just slow them down a little, when everybody's running to go catch these enhancements or these overviews or these AI like this and that, you're just hurrying up the progression so they don't need us anymore. But
yeah,
I absolutely use schema. If you want to go for those snippets, absolutely. What I'm really liking is, yes, the high commercial intent, like the best Houston DUI lawyer, like those snippets or those AI overviews, that type of stuff changes, the high commercial intent. But what I'm noticing that sticks around is the informational. You catch a snippet for informational, you'll be sitting there for a while. So, people also ask discussions, any of the AI overviews, like any of those little pop outs, you stay up there for the info.
Yeah.
Is it okay to use snippets in the tag to boost CTR? Oh, and then the last piece to boost CTR. I used to see Rand talking about that. That was a big buzz. Remember, he's like, "Oh, changing out or writing out the title tags to increase my click-through rate." But how many of us went out there and tried that? And yeah, maybe maybe we got lucky. But just changing certain things, like little tiny tweaks like that never really make that big of a difference. Now, it's usually a bunch of small things added together over time is what produces the good result. So that's one of the things that I would do, but I wouldn't bank on that as a big boost. Hopefully that helps you.
I'm sure it will.
I always feel like I'm giving,
Yeah.
like you said, no meat on the bone. I was like, well, and two, what's up with these questions lately? I feel like they're not as robust.
Yeah. What the fuck's wrong with you all?
Well, how many live sessions are you doing in a week now?
Just two.
Two with mine or with ours?
No.
Two others.
This and then the one on Monday.
Oh, okay. So two total. And on Monday, what's the topic difference? Because I see sometimes I'll see you with different people. Like the last.
I only do it with Holly and Randy. That's it.
Oh yeah, but so the podcast stuff, or when I see you popping up into my feed.
That's other people's channels and shit like that.
Yeah, I guess I never looked at that. Okay. Well, how's the traction on that event? There's 3 people. Holly always brings a lot of people too, a lot of questions.
I wouldn't say the questions are that frequent. People like to listen than talk is probably what I would say. A lot of people listen in the background. So on that other session, we normally talk, and other people just get their value that way. Audience participation, people are getting lazier and lazier as time goes. Still, I get a lot of people saying, "Oh, I listen to your live streams with Chris all the time," but they never fucking say hello or ask a question. Well, listen.
I know there's engagement because people say, "Hey, I love seeing you. Hey, who's that Scott guy?" Like, I hear about you, even though they don't know your name. I'm like, you saw him, you watched us, you don't know the guy's name. Okay. So yeah, I know it gets traction. It's just when there's no engagement, it makes you feel like, does anybody care?
Yeah. Yeah. Let us know if you still care. But Jai is asking, any strategies for App Store optimization, or is that a different wheelhouse? So if you have an app and you want to rank that shit, Chris, what are the key ranking factors. Have you actually done any App Store stuff?
I've co-hosted applications with others, but it was for an entirely different reason. We were after applications that were already existing. On top of that, most notably, we were looking for applications that had a lot of downloads and certain permissions. But other than that, no, we didn't care about rank. We wanted to buy what was already there, even if it was dying. We didn't care. How many installs did you have, and what were the permissions? Yeah, I just saw Minecraft with little Chris, and there was like the guy. Did you see that movie or no? What?
No.
Jack Black's in it. He's funny.
No, dude, I have no time for that shit, man.
Well, I feel that, but I know I make special time now. For little Chris, yes. I have a rule. It's like little Chris comes first. I might as well have it like a plaque. Like Kelly or like Lily will ask me stuff, and I'm like, little Chris comes first. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the best way to be, though. But Jai, I think with App Store optimization, it's a different game.
Oh, different game, absolutely.
Altogether. Yeah, I wish it was as easy as pumping a few links and some shit like that. But yeah, I think you would need to. You would need to be able to download a lot of shit, man, and yeah, it's
different wheelhouse.
different.
But for me, just like if you know SEO though, what's the first thing you do when you're doing SEO? Let's go see what the winners are doing. But not the big winners, because they've been sitting there and they're resting on their laurels. The new winners, the new money. How'd they get there so fast? What are they doing? That's what I want to see.
There's always a way of fucking busting the system. Always a way. You know, even with the likes of Trustpilot, a lot of people are going, yeah, where do I get Trustpilot reviews? Blah, 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 blah. And you're like, well, if you get this account, you do realize that you can upload all other reviews to Trustpilot if you've got the $99 account and bust the fucking system that way. I know it seems bizarre, but yeah, there's got to be a way to bust that system. There is always a fucking hack, but I think you would need to ask that question to someone who's actively doing that, because these hacks and ways of doing it always fucking change. And yeah, I've never bothered my ass with App Store optimization, if I'm being honest. Not my personal cup of tea, but maybe Palmer has, but I was hoping he had. But yeah,
nope.
Got to stick to what you're good at. But is there any last minute questions before we wrap up, guys? If you do, stick them in the chat. And if you're watching the recorded version of this, put your question in the comments as well. Let us know that you are still watching the recordings as well. Even if you just say recordings, I will know that you're watching the recordings, just so that we're not forcing ourselves upon people when they're sick and tired of people. Yeah, I'm sure they're not, though. Skylar's asking, what's your guys' thoughts on Claude versus ChatGPT?
Wow. Mine. How many parameters does Claude have? Because I mean, if we're all slurping up the same information, and then what's the dollars behind that company, or were they acquired by somebody? So it's like, what do they currently have, and where are they going to go in the future? You know, OpenAI, Google's platform, even Amazon's platform, Grok. You know, not only do they already have, or Meta even, not only do they already have some of the best LLMs, but they also have the backing for the future. So Claude, unless they get acquired, I mean, they might have something cool right this second, but it's not even debatable. ChatGPT, in my opinion.
Yeah. For now.
You never know.
Subject to change. So from Blake, is embedding GPS coordinates of a GMB office location into images being uploaded to the GMB and money site still worthwhile for local?
It's been a long time since I tested that. I just mentioned that last night. I had a bill come up for what's it called? GeoSetter, one of those tools, like a monthly deal. And I was like, you know what? I hate paying bills. I want a free tool. And really what I was looking for was a way to edit the hex code of a video, which I found. Long story short, though, I found Airfin View. So we're running that test again. The last time we tested it out, zero noticeable effect. On top of that, I recently tested uploading to YouTube, Google Business Profile, Google Maps, pretty much anywhere. And this was very recent. And then we exported to look inside of EXIF tool to see what metadata, EXIF data, XLP data, all that stuff, right? They, if you add 120 different types, what's left is between 9 and 12 different types, depending upon what platform. So I think they're stripping it. I don't think it's being utilized. However, I'm seeing these guys. What's the heck is the tool? It's not a tool for SEO. It's like for plumbing and HVAC. It's actually a tool for invoicing and stuff and like mapping out your jobs. In any case, when you're at the job, you can take photos, and it has all the templates for all the different phones. It exports in the phone HCIC, which is iPhone. It does the right format. It's doing the geo coordinates. It's leaving in the reviews. Long story short, I'm seeing those guys for the painting companies, the HVAC, the garage door. It's nothing fangled like you're seeing out here. Like that site that dude just showed me, and it had all these like directions and all this junk. Nah, it's very simple. They're putting them inside the reviews. They're adding them into the actual site on a dedicated testimonials page. And it just makes sense. It's not overdone. It's not super optimized. It's not even on purpose. But I think there might be something there. Is it the geotagging, or is it the action of having the pages? Like actually having a testimonials page, actually having a review page, actually being at the job site, actually getting a live testimonial and adding that. I'm going to see. So as of right now, I would say you're spinning your wheels. But could it easily be incorporated into a service business's process? Definitely. And I want to see, is it worth, like when I talk to Dr. Becker, or when I talk to a law firm, or when I talk to someone, to add something into what is already working, I need to be able to prove it. So I'll know soon enough. I can't just point to others, because it could be a million other things. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Craig. I can't say, oh, look at these guys. They'll say, it's not us. Yeah. It can't happen to me. Brian, what's up, man?
He's saying Claude has some major backing from Google's dollars.
Now, there's a valuable piece of information that I didn't know.
Yeah. Stephen Hanks, do you think Pinterest can be useful in an SEO strategy, and how? I've seen people get a lot of traffic from Pinterest, absolutely insane amounts of traffic from Pinterest. I have actually seen a dude's full business come from Pinterest. All the traffic comes from Pinterest. Depends on your niche, though, is the one thing I'd throw out there. I'm not going to give the guy's niche up, but it was very much a visual niche. The photographs and stuff are what people like in that space, and it worked very well for him. Is it going to work well as part of an SEO strategy? Probably not, because for Chris Palmer, I mean, when I say SEO strategy, people are sick and tired of seeing his face. They don't need to see any more pins on Chris Palmer. But maybe if he was doing hair, makeup, something like that, they would look at the different haircuts or whatever, and it would work a lot better, if that makes sense. So yeah, it can be very useful. More exposure is good, and as long as people want that exposure on those platforms, then absolutely. So
yeah, and take Pinterest out of the equation. Just any channel that's going to allow you for distribution. even if I could catch one extra eyeball, one extra sale to take that 3 seconds out of your life to, you've already made whatever, like whether you made a post, it's a tweet, whatever. If I could just, it's one more action, one more automation, distribution, I would. But I've seen certain businesses do very well. I had this architect, they were doing these like specific designs in California, Pinterest. So that was like an architect, this weird architect. And then I had this lady, she was doing not wedding photography, but she was booking the events for weddings. Booming. You know, for a wedding photographer, usually wedding photography websites are.
It's visual. It's that fucking visual again, Chris. It's always got to be a fucking visual, man. Fucking honestly, I wish it would work for me, man. No one wants to see my visuals.
I've tried every which way. I even tried going out there and just ganking everyone else's on a different account, not associated to my name, in one niche and just uploading them. That didn't work either.
Nah. Fuck Pinterest. But nah, it can work very well for certain industries. And John is saying Claude for coding, ChatGPT for everything else, Skylar. And Muzzy is saying, is that company cam?
I don't believe so. I think it's like Jobber or something like that. But maybe. There's a most distinguishingly the last time I saw somebody that was really booming, it was a paint company, like just this morning, and I was like, another one using the same stuff. No, I think it's Jobber actually.
Yeah. Cool. Well, guys, we are out of time, so I'm going to let you guys get back to it. But the people in the end come in with some decent stuff. So, yeah, they're still hanging around, Chris. They're still lurking in the background. But before we wrap up, guys, please do check out chrispalmer.org to go and see the man himself. And go and check out the news guy. The link is below. And we will see you at the same time next week. And if you are watching the recording, please do leave a comment under there so that we know you're still watching these. And we will catch you at the same time next week.